The darkest night is about to fall over Salem, and nothing will ever be the same. 5 shocking twists are on the horizon, each one powerful enough to shake the foundation of the entire town. Long-buried secrets are creeping into the light, alliances will shatter, and unexpected dangers will leave everyone questioning who they can really trust. From sinister experiments hiding behind a mask of charity to a shocking family betrayal, a scandalous feud, and even a terrifying Halloween nightmare, Salem is about to enter a season of chaos like never before. These aren't just twists, they're explosions waiting to detonate. Tonight, we break down the 5 stunning revelations that will collapse everything the people of Salem thought they knew. Let's dive in. On the surface, the night seems flawless. A hospital gala in memory of Tom Horton, a celebration of legacy, healing, and charity. Salem's finest gather in elegant gowns and sharp suits, raising glasses to toast a new wing, a free clinic, and what appears to be a brighter future for the town. But beneath the glitter and applause, something far more sinister lurks. EJ steps onto the stage with the charisma of a leader determined to win the people's hearts. He speaks of generosity, of honoring the Horton name, of giving back to the community. The audience eats it up, at least on the surface. But behind the carefully rehearsed smiles, whispers ripple through the crowd. Something feels off. Those whispers point to a hidden lab, a place tucked behind the hospital walls where charity gives way to chilling experimentation. The rumors speak not of healing but of tampering, of science pushed into grotesque territory. And at the center of it all? Stefano DiMera's legacy. It seems EJ's plans are less about saving lives and more about ensuring his father's dark influence never truly dies. The talk is of experiments designed to preserve, perhaps even resurrect, pieces of Stefano himself. Whether symbolic or literal, the possibility is horrifying. What was meant to be a night of hope could quickly devolve into chaos. If the truth breaks during the gala, Salem won't just be stunned, it will be shaken to its core. The mask of charity can only hold for so long before it cracks, and when it does, the fallout will be devastating. For years, one figure has stood as a symbol of gentleness in Salem, a reminder that not all DiMeras are destined for darkness. But bloodlines have a way of pulling even the kindest souls into dangerous currents. And soon, a shift begins. It starts quietly, with small favors, subtle choices, and the belief that he's simply helping family. Tony whispers encouragement, painting each action as harmless, even necessary. But gradually, those small steps begin to pile up into something much heavier. Suddenly, technical skills once used for good are bent toward schemes, surveillance, and manipulation. The change doesn't go unnoticed. Loved ones, who once celebrated his purity of heart, begin to sense the shadows closing in. Questions form. Is he simply caught up in family loyalty, or is something darker awakening inside him? Salem has seen this pattern before, an innocent drawn into DiMera games, only to emerge altered, scarred, or completely corrupted. What rattles the town most is not the acts themselves, but the potential they represent. How far will he go once he's already taken the first step? How much of his innocence can survive when he begins embracing the very legacy he once avoided? It is the most dangerous kind of transformation, slow, believable, almost sympathetic. And that is what makes it terrifying. Salem may soon discover that watching a beloved figure slide into the shadows is more devastating than watching a villain simply continue to be a villain. Because once the line is crossed, there may be no way back. The walls of the DiMera mansion have always held secrets, but this fall, those walls will shake with a battle that no one saw coming. For a brief moment, it seemed peace had been restored between EJ and Chad, 2 brothers who have spent years at odds. But Salem knows one truth: peace among DiMeras is only ever temporary. The spark this time is Kat, an assistant who should have been nothing more than another face in the business. Yet she carries secrets of her own, connections to law enforcement, shadowy assignments with the ISA and FBI, and a private agenda that makes her far more dangerous than she appears. She is the match poised above the gasoline-soaked floor of the DiMera family. When EJ begins to suspect her loyalties, the fragile bond between the brothers fractures. Chad finds himself in a position he never wanted, forced to defend Kat against EJ's accusations. But defending her doesn't just mean protecting an employee, it means standing up to his brother, knowing full well that the DiMera name doesn't forgive betrayal. The feud escalates quickly, shifting from simmering tension to outright hostility. Words will be exchanged, threats will be implied, and alliances within the family will begin to splinter. Chad and EJ's rivalry isn't just about Kat, it's about power, pride, and who truly controls the DiMera empire. For fans, this looming feud promises chaos. A DiMera civil war is always messy, but this time the stakes are higher. If outsiders get pulled into the crossfire, the fallout could devastate Salem in ways that last far beyond this season. For Stephanie, the past has never been an easy place to revisit. She has worked tirelessly to carve out her own future, even writing under the pen name, Anastasia Sands, to distance herself from painful memories. But in Salem, secrets are never safe. October brings her nightmare to life when the careful mask she built begins to crack. A familiar face returns, an abusive ex whose presence alone is enough to send her spiraling. He knows her weaknesses, her scars, and most importantly, her secrets. His arrival is not just a haunting of the past, it's a direct threat to her present. Stephanie's panic is palpable. What was once a quiet fear of being found out explodes into reality. Her romance novel, meant to be her escape, now becomes a weapon against her. The pseudonym can't protect her anymore, not when someone determined to expose her is standing right in front of her. The danger isn't just about reputation. It's about survival. Old wounds reopen, memories of abuse resurface, and the trauma Stephanie thought she buried floods back with devastating force. Worse still, Salem itself becomes a stage for exposure. The possibility of her secret identity being made public threatens to strip her of the control she's fought so hard to maintain. For viewers, this isn't just about one woman's struggle. It's about the ripple effects, how trauma doesn't stay confined, how it spreads to touch family, friends, and even enemies. Salem will watch as Stephanie faces the nightmare of her past head-on, and fans will be left asking, can she find the strength to fight back, or will this exposure consume her completely? Halloween in Salem has always been a mix of tricks and treats, costumes, parties, and the occasional spooky prank. But this year, the night takes a turn no one will forget. What begins with laughter and candy in the town square quickly dissolves into terror when shadows reveal something far more sinister. Out of the crowd steps a figure dressed not in a playful costume, but in a stark white lab coat. In one hand, the glint of a blade catches the flicker of Halloween lights. The moment is surreal. What seems like a staged scare suddenly turns real when screams erupt, echoing through the square. The laughter dies instantly, replaced by panic as the costumed crowd scatters in chaos. In the confusion, one Solemite is singled out, cornered against the stone of the fountain. The figure lunges, knife raised, ready to strike. It is only through a shocking act of bravery, a last-second intervention, that the would-be victim escapes. The rescue is dramatic, but it comes at a cost. The knife slashes, blood spills, and the night of fun becomes a night of horror. For fans, the questions multiply. Who is the attacker? Is it a masked stranger, or someone Salem knows all too well hiding behind a disguise? And more chillingly, is this one isolated slash of violence, or the start of a larger reign of terror that could haunt Salem long after Halloween decorations come down? The line between playful fantasy and grim reality has never been thinner. This Halloween, Salem doesn't just celebrate fear, it lives it. 5 shocks, 5 devastating blows, and one haunting truth. Salem is on the edge of collapse. What began as a charitable gala threatens to reveal grotesque experiments and the shadow of Stefano reborn. A good soul takes a step into darkness, threatening to lose himself in family ambition. Brothers who once stood united prepare to tear each other apart in a feud that could shatter the DiMera dynasty. A carefully hidden secret identity is ripped open by the return of a nightmare from the past. And then comes Halloween, a night of screams and blood that reminds everyone how fragile safety truly is. These aren't just twists in the story, they are tremors that shake the ground beneath every Salemite. Friendships will fracture, alliances will be tested, and no one will escape untouched. The real question isn't whether the town will recover, but how much will be lost before dawn breaks. Days of Our Lives thrives on secrets, betrayals, and heartbreak. But this fall, even the strongest hearts may not survive the storm. The darkest night has only just begun.